Some of you might know the machine that I'm holding in front of me. Some of you may not. If you grew up in the 90s, there's a good chance you do. This is the Plextor Disc Duplicator Reflex 1, Max-1. Back in the day, if you were to purchase one of these, good luck finding one, but you can probably have purchased this for about $1,200. This is a disc duplicator for DVDs and CDs. If you don't know what CDs are, ask your parents. If you know what a DVD is, ask your parents. The top holds the data or music disc, and the bottom holds a blank disc to transfer the information. So you're copying from the top to the bottom. Another word that you might not be familiar with is burning. Copying back in the day was known as burning. So if someone says, I'm going to burn a disc, it did not mean that they were going to throw it in front of an open flame or on an open flame. It meant that they were going to copy the disc. So right here, you have one DVD, the other DVD, and the power button. Right now it's disconnected. Once you get it going, you're going to see the lights and everything else illuminate. Then you press the top button to start copying, and then it will transfer it to the bottom disc. What did people use this for? To copy music a lot of times. They had a CD that they wanted their friend to have, but they didn't want to, they didn't want their friend didn't want to pay the full retail price of $16 or $20 for a DVD, or from BMG or Columbia House. Look it up. They can just make a copy, and they themselves could sell it, which was illegal, but people did it anyway, even with DVDs and movies. So, and by the way, they also did this with PlayStation discs, the original PlayStation that was modded. So that's basically an introduction to the Plextor CD Duplicator. And this right now, something that you could have gotten in the early 90s for about almost $2,000. Right now, you can find it on eBay for about $80. So that's how far along we are in technology, and how obsolete this technology is becoming, that right now you could buy this CD duplicator, DVD duplicator, rewriter for about $80. You could probably get it within 3 days from eBay, and with shipping and handling, depending on where you get it from, you could pay nothing, or you could pay another $70 or $80 for shipping and handling from eBay. So the way that it works is you connect it here in the back. Here's a fan to keep it cool while all this burning is taking place. There it is. 3-prong adapter. I believe it's 125 volts. And it's a little far, but I'll move it to get it connected. I might have to pause in a second. You just connect it like that, and then you connect the other end to the wall. The weight on this machine itself, I would say, is anywhere between 7 and 10 pounds. So it is kind of heavy. As far as portability, I would say it probably weighs a little bit more than a portable printer from Hewlett-Packard. So a lot of people used to use this for copying PlayStation discs, for music, and for movies. And the question that a lot of people, I'm not saying me, I'm just saying other people would have, were, can they copy commercial DVDs? Is that even possible? So I can lend it to a friend or as a backup for myself. We're going to test that in a minute. Before I forget, if you grew up in the last 5 years, the last 10 years, you might not know what this is. This is a blank CD. This is a writable CD. CDR. So that means you could copy information, data, or music, or photos onto this device, onto this media. Once you burn it, once you copy it, you can't use it again. So make sure you have everything that you are going to copy all at once on this. And that writing you see on the top is just me labeling it with a Sharpie or a marker. I labeled this CD1 because I want to remember it's CD1. And I relabeled this CD2 because it's CD2. And this is being housed inside of a jewel case. This jewel case you can buy in bulk for about 100 from Staples if they still have it. You might have to special order it from their website. But as you see, you can fit 2 discs inside of one if you want to economize. Also know that the back of this is very sensitive, especially on I'll say on consumer blank CDs. They made it so they can sell, so they can break down, so they can ruin. So sometimes the ink, the dye from the ink would seep through the media, and if you leave it for a long time in the sun or otherwise, just over the years, it might damage the disc. Go figure. What a good time that was, the good old days. And the back is also very sensitive. If you were to put it down on the surface, you'll see that in the back you'll start getting a lot of scratches, which will then in turn make the disc skip as well as data corrupt. So keep that in mind as to how far we've come along since the 90s as far as saving information and music and otherwise. So this is a CDR, which means you can only copy on this once. A CDRW, reading and writable rewriter. That means you can erase the information that's there, and then you could also add more information on it. CDR just means that you can use it once. For the purpose of this review and demonstration, we are going to try to copy this tremendously funny and culturally identifying DVD called Groundhog Day with Bill Murray. Okay, there it is. Some of you might know it. Columbia Pictures. The lovely Andy McDowell, lower right hand side of the portrait. Let's see. Okay, so I've opened the DVD case, and I've also connected the DVD copier. I'm going to press a power button, and here's the LED screen. It tells me the DVD duplicator, the software it's running inside, firmware, master and slave. That's terms, technological terms that currently used throughout the computer world. Now not so much. So I'm going to press here to open the 16-speed CD drive. Seems like centuries ago, DVD drive that we used 16 speed. And I'm going to take out Groundhog Day from its case. Now the way you take it out, you press on the middle, you lift the disc, and you try not to get fingerprints on the bottom. And you push that in, and you see that it says copy there, and pretty soon it's going to start reading the disc. If you place your hand on the DVD player, you're going to see that the green light not only starts blinking, but it starts shaking. It means it's reading the disc. So we just want to see, for the purpose of this experiment, will it copy this commercial disc to a blank CD? It's a blank, we'll see. Will it just be data? Will it just be, how will we do it? Okay, so once they're both in, both lights will begin to blink. One will solid in the bottom and one blinking at the top. For the purpose of this experiment, we don't expect it to copy it because the bottom one is a CDR and the top one is a DVDR, but we want to see if anything in the mechanism will bypass that. Let's see. Preparing. So the source drive is not ready. So as we see, we cannot copy a DVD to a CDR. That is the result of our experiment. For that, we would need a DVD blank disc, which will be about 4.5 gigabytes of data. Some DVDs are 8 gigabytes, and those usually cost a little more. But for the purposes of this experiment, that is your answer. Thank you for asking the question, and this is the experiment, and we've shown you the solution. We'd also show you a demonstration of how you would use the Plextor Reflex 1 Max-1 disc maker. Thank you.